The Hale mansion glows like a museum at sunset. Marble floors. Silver trays. Voices that never dip below a whisper. And there, by the tall east window, stands 10-year-old Michael. One hand pressed to the glass. One finger pointing out. Not moving. Not blinking much. Just pointing. Again. The head housekeeper, Evelyn, mutters. "Away from the window, please." Michael's father, Robert Hale, billionaire and always late, strides in, phone to his ear. "Michael, buddy, not now." He kisses the air near his son's head and keeps walking. The kid doesn't move. The finger stays. The house moves around him like water around a rock. That's when Sophia arrives, new maid, thrift store coat, quiet shoes. She sees it in the first minute. The house hums, but the boy is still. He's not ignoring anyone. He's busy. Something out there has his full attention. What is it? Window again? Evelyn sighs, then to Sophia. Clean the stairs. Keep him away from the glass. Mr. Hale hates fingerprints. Sophia bends near Michael but doesn't touch him. She lowers her voice. "Hi, I'm Sophia." No response. She looks where he's pointing. The winter garden. Bare branches. A brass feeder hanging from an old oak, empty as a hollow bell. The light hits at a slant. Dust dances like tiny planets. You know that feeling when a room goes quiet and you can suddenly hear your own breath? That's this moment. Sophia mirrors his stance. Same distance, same angle. Then, very gently, she lifts her own finger and points to the same spot. Michael's eyes flick to her finger, then back to the window. A tiny shift, but real. He saw her. He noticed the mirror. Does it happen every day? She whispers toward the staff. No one answers. No one is watching closely enough. Stop humoring him, Evelyn says. He needs discipline. Sophia keeps her voice steady. What time does he point? Evelyn rolls her eyes. Late afternoon. Always late afternoon. Sophia checks the antique clock. 4:17 p.m. Not 4:15. Not 4:30. Specific. Precise. Does that detail feel important to you too? What would you look for first? The light, the trees, the feeder. The front door opens. Robert's voice thunders down the hall. We're done moving the east chairs. Nobody touches that window. Construction dust. Sophia doesn't argue. She just steps back and watches. Michael's finger trembles slightly. He taps the glass twice. The tiniest sound. Silent moment. Have you ever wanted to say something and only had one gesture to say it with? Sophia inhales. Then she does the simplest, bravest thing. She raises her own hand the same way Michael does and points at the exact same place, like she's answering in his language. Michael turns his head. His eyes meet hers for half a second, warm brown, sharp as flint. He taps the glass once more, and then he taps his chest. Is that a question? Is that a request? Sophia looks back at the brass feeder, swaying empty in the wind. What are you asking for? She whispers. From the hall, Evelyn's voice snaps like a thread. Sophia stares. Now. Sophia doesn't move yet. She keeps pointing. She waits. The minute hand clicks toward 4:18. And in that held breath of a house, in that thin ribbon of afternoon, Sophia realizes something everyone else has missed. Tomorrow, at 4:17, she's going to do it again. But this time, she's going to open the window. What happens when the glass finally opens, and the house hears what Michael has been trying to say? Morning brings orders. Lists. Warnings. Do not open the east window, Evelyn repeats. Dust. Allergens. Rules. The word rules clangs like a lid on a pot. Sophia spends her break printing picture cards from an old office printer in the laundry room. Simple drawings. Window, tree, bird, open, seed. She's used picture exchanges before. Sometimes a picture can be a bridge. At 4:10 p.m., she finds Michael already there. Finger. Glass. East window. The brass feeder beyond, still empty. The light, now gold instead of white, paints his cheek. Sophia kneels to his height. She doesn't crowd. She places the picture cards on the floor like stepping stones. Window, she says softly, touching the card, then touching the window frame. Open. She hovers her hand above the latch but doesn't move it yet. Consent matters. Safety matters. Michael's gaze skates over the cards. He taps window with one finger. Then he taps open. Then, careful, deliberate, bird. You feel that click in the heart. The sense. What would you do right now? Sophia asks you, the viewer. Open it. Ask for permission. Wait for the father. Which choice feels right and kind? Sophia whispers to Michael. I'll open it just a little. Okay. He doesn't flinch. She unlatches the window and pushes it an inch. The house sighs. Outside air tiptoes in, cold, leaf-scented, honest. Sounds that were muffled become clear, a bicycle bell on the road, a distant dog, wind walking through dry branches. The brass feeder knocks gently against the oak. Michael's shoulders lower. He's not fixed. He's just comfortable. Imagine holding tension all day and finally setting it down. Have you ever felt that relief in your own body? He points again. Not at the feeder this time. Down. The stone path. The little storage bench beneath the window. Sophia opens it. Inside, a dusty bag labeled seeds and a small scoop. Bird. Michael taps. Then he taps open again. His hand is steady now. Let's check with your dad, Sophia says. She turns, and almost runs into Robert. He's watching from the doorway. Expensive suit, tired eyes, a wall of worry behind those shoulders. Why is that window open? His voice is not loud, but the house hears it anyway. Sophia doesn't flinch. Because your son asked, sir. Robert looks at the cards, then at Michael, then at the window. Asked. His mouth tightens. He points at things, Sophia. That's not a request. Sometimes it is, she says. May I show you something? He hesitates. The second hand on his watch ticks loud. He nods once. Sophia scoops a small handful of seeds. She steps outside onto the stone. The winter air bites her ears. She places the scoop beneath the brass feeder and looks back at Michael. Then, she does it. She points, the exact way he points. Michael watches her hand, then looks up. For the first time since she arrived, a smile, tiny, cautious, edges his mouth. The blue shadow of a bird crosses the window. A jay lands, tilts its head, and pecks. Robert's breath catches. He takes one step, then another, toward the glass. Every day, he murmurs. At this time, Sophia nods. For 17, I think it meant this. Michael taps his chest again. Then he touches the bird card and slides it to his father. Robert thinks it's just a feeder, until tomorrow, when Michael points past the oak at something else that changes everything. By noon, there are whispers in the service corridor. She broke the east window rule. Trying to impress Mr. Hale. Poor girl thinks pointing means conversation. The words drip. Rich versus poor, the old poison. Evelyn corners Sophia by the pantry. You are here to scrub, not to teach, she says, smiling with her teeth. Rules exist for reasons you don't understand. Sophia places the picture cards in a tin and closes the lid. Some rules fall apart when you make eye contact, she says calmly. Michael is communicating. Communicating. Evelyn scoffs. With birds. Sophia's voice is soft. With the person who feeds them. At 4:15 p.m., the ritual begins again. Michael at the window. Sophia at his side. The latch. The inch of cold air. The seeds. The hush. Robert arrives with a frown and his phone in his hand. He doesn't speak at first. He just watches. A second jay swoops in. Then a sparrow. Then the faintest tremble rises in the oak leaves, like a secret being told. Michael taps bird. Then his finger darts beyond the oak. Past the feeder. To the far edge of the property where the brick wall meets the servants' gate. His finger locks there. Unmoving. What do you see? Sophia breathes. She follows his line. A narrow corner. A metal trash can. The afternoon sun throws a bright rectangle on the wall like a screen. In that golden rectangle, shadows flutter. Not birds. Hands. Hands moving in shapes. Slow. Careful. A gardener in a green cap, John, watering the hedge, his wrists turning. Not random. Signing. Hello. Good. You're okay. Sophia freezes. He's answering you, she whispers. He's been answering you all along. Robert steps forward. Answering? What is this? Sophia keeps it simple. John knows a little sign language. Maybe from his niece. He signs every afternoon when he sees Michael point. Your son points to ask for connection, not chaos. To say, I'm here. Are you there? Robert stares through the glass like he's never seen his own house. You sign with my son. He calls down to the garden. John looks up, startled, hands dripping. He nods, embarrassed. Just, hello, sir. And, bird. He seemed to like it. Hope that's okay. Michael is already signing back, his version. Not perfect. His own rhythm. Hello, bird. More, please. The shapes are small, some on his chest, some on the glass, but clear enough to make John grin. Sophia's throat tightens. Michael wasn't stuck at a window. He built himself a window into people. What would you feel right now if you were Robert? Shock. Shame. Relief. Would you say sorry? Would you say thank you? Robert's jaw works. He turns to Sophia. And you, how did you know? I didn't, she says. I asked. I mirrored. I waited. She nods toward Michael. He told me. Evelyn's footsteps slice the air behind them. This is absurd, she snaps. The gardener communicates more than the boy. We are coddling a habit. Sophia steps between her and Michael without touching him. We are answering a person. The phones. The rules. The marble. It all feels brittle. Robert exhales. Tomorrow, he says, voice low. At 4:17, we all meet here. No phone. No orders. Just listen. Evelyn's smile hardens. And if this circus causes a scene on the lawn? Robert's eyes, finally clear, lift to hers. Then the scene is mine. The next afternoon, Michael points again, but this time, not just to birds or hands. He points to a memory Robert has buried so deep it hurts to breathe. The house waits for 4:17 like a stage before the curtain. Even the clocks seem shy. Robert stands at the window in shirt sleeves, no jacket, no armor. John wipes his hands on his jeans near the hedge. Sophia lays out new cards. Hello, more, music, mom. One extra card, drawn quickly during lunch, a simple heart and a tiny bird. Michael arrives. He is calm. He touches hello, then the glass. He points. The light falls into the room like honey. Sophia opens the window. The jay comes first. Then a sparrow. Then a flock of whispers. The feeder ticks. The air smells like damp stone, like yesterday and today at the same time. Michael taps the card music. Everyone stills. Music. Robert repeats. Where? Michael points past the oak, beyond John, toward the small stone bench near the fountain. There, half hidden by ivy, sits a weathered wind chime, a simple one, strung by small shells. Unused. Tangled. Sophia looks to Robert. May I? He nods. She crosses the lawn, frees the strands, and lifts the chime. The wind catches. A delicate scale drifts through the yard, the exact tone of early grief. Robert's face changes. The sound drops him into a memory so vivid he sways. Emma, his late wife, standing beside Michael, her hand over his, guiding him. "Listen," she had whispered then, the day before the hospital. "When you hear the chime, it means we're together here." 4:17. The winter sun. Birds tumbling like commas. The three of them inside a small circle of sound. He'd forgotten the time. He'd boarded every plane. He'd bought 10 companies. He'd filled the house with glass and missed the one window that mattered. Robert kneels. Not just because it looks right, but because it is right. He doesn't touch his son. He signs, awkwardly, "Hello, bird." More. His fingers tremble. He adds one more shape, simple and slow, together. Michael watches. His mouth curves. He signs back, "Together." Then he taps Mom, and lifts his eyes to the chime. Sophia feels the room shift, the house itself, old and stubborn, learning a new language. She turns to Evelyn, who stands in the doorway, arms crossed. "Will you help us refill the feeder each morning?" Sophia asks, steady. Same time. Same place. Evelyn's lips part, an argument forming. Then she sees Robert, still kneeling, still learning. She swallows her words. "Of course," she mutters, and for the first time, her voice isn't sharp. It's small. "What would you change in your own routine," Sophia asks you, "if one small change could make someone breathe easier?" Robert rises. "We'll make a board," he says, looking to Sophia. "Pictures. Words. Signs. Routine on the wall. Teach me." Sophia nods. "We start with what he already loves." She points to the cards. Window. Bird. Music. Hello. Together. Michael taps the glass once more and then points, past the chime, past the oak, to the very edge of the sky where a single contrail threads the blue. He presses his palm to the window. He signs fly, his version, a gentle sweep. Emma's last wish floods back to Robert like a tide, take him to the bird sanctuary by the sea. He never went. Tomorrow, Robert is going to keep a promise he didn't know he was breaking, and in the sanctuary wind, Michael will show him one last meaning of the window. They drive at noon. No convoy. No assistance. Just a father, a son, and Sophia in the back with a bag of seeds and a pocket full of picture cards. The bird sanctuary smells like salt and pine and 1,000 small wings. Michael walks the path with careful feet. He listens. He watches the shadows ripple across the ground like river water. He signs hello to a volunteer who signs it back. He doesn't rush. He doesn't need to. Robert carries the feeder from home in a brown paper bag, like an apology wrapped in crinkle. He hangs it at a quiet overlook. The wind almost sings. "Window," Sophia says softly, pointing not to glass, but to the open air. "Windows can move." Michael points too. Not at a pane but at the world. The ritual holds, even here. 4:17 arrives and feels like a secret handshake across time. The first finch arrives. Then, another. Their hearts beat so fast you can almost hear it. Michael signs more. The sky obliges. Robert watches his son fall into focus, not away from it. He doesn't try to fix anything. He learns the rhythm instead. He learns that silence is not empty. It is structured. It is full of meaning. "Michael," Robert says, voice low, "thank you for teaching me your window." Michael touches his father's sleeve. He taps together. He points at the air again, and then, surprising everyone, he speaks a small, careful word. Not perfect. Beautiful anyway. Bird. It's not a miracle. It's a moment. A door that was always there, finally used. Robert's eyes shine. He looks at Sophia. "You did it," he says, but she shakes her head. "He did it," she corrects. "You listened." Back at the mansion, the routine becomes a living thing. A laminated schedule on the wall. A small shelf for cards, for ear defenders, for seeds. Evelyn starts placing a scoop by the window each morning without being asked. John signs hello from the hedge, and Michael signs back, then adds a new shape he learned that week. The house stops demanding he adapt to its noise and begins adapting to his music. People still whisper sometimes. Rich versus poor. Old habits die loud. But in the middle of that grand, echoing home, a boy points, a father answers, and a maid mirrors a gesture like a bridge made of light. What would you do if the person you loved spoke in gestures, in routines, in tiny details most people miss? Would you slow down? Would you change the rules? Would you open the window? Sophia stands by the east window at 4:17 as winter turns toward spring. The feeder knocks softly. The chime stitches music through the air. Michael taps together and points toward the garden gate, where a small crowd has gathered for the first quiet hour the house has ever hosted. Neighbors, staff, volunteers, even Evelyn, all whispering hello in hands. Robert sets his phone face down. And for once, he doesn't pick it up again. Have you ever noticed a small signal, a glance, a routine, a gesture, that meant something big? What did you do with it, and what should we, as a community, learn to do better next time? Share your story below.